So me and Chris have gone to Airbourne, which is the Eastbourne Air Show, and we're on the big wheel at the moment. It's a little bit windy,
Very windy.
but the views are pretty good. You can see down there. I think you can win that Jaguar F-Type. We might have to go and buy a ticket. You can sit in the big chair as well. Kids bounce all over the place. And that thing that spins around is quite funny when it clouds someone. There's a zip line, which is quite cool. We've got Gary down there somewhere with the radio. Behind that man there in the other thingy. The waves are pretty big. We should get some planes come along shortly. So once back down on the ground, we had a good wander around, obviously back past the Ferris wheel, and went to find Gary, who was at the Airbourne radio, who was doing the radio there. So we had a good catch up with him. There we go, Gary's on YouTube. Gary! Gary! Say hello. Yeah.
Hello, mate. Hi, Gary.
Chris. Gary, Chris.
Hey, Gary.
Chris, Gary, Chris.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Hey, say hello to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Want to get a burger? Should we do a burger? I think it's burger time. Yeah. That's my turn. Is it? Yeah. Oh, what do you want? Cheeseburger? Just a £quarter one.
Just can't hear us. Can I have 2 cheeseburgers, please? 2 cheeseburgers, onions, mushrooms?
Onions, mushrooms? No mushrooms.
No mushrooms?
That's onions. Yes, please.
No onions or mushrooms for me.
Yeah, with a little bit of ketchup. Good.
Yeah, very good. These are our most popular ones. So these are the nation's favourite.
I can see why. Now we shouldn't bought a burger, we could have just stolen these from this lady. We're going funny.
Yeah, we were sampling lots of our new ones as well. We've got different flavours. So
Oh, it's in a Schwitzo one over there, sorry. We didn't try that one.
Yeah.
What's he got?
We're sampling, he's got the Moroccan actually, I think. But yeah, we're
Free
sampling
buffet, we like this.
And selling as well, if you wanted to.
Cool.
Hate Will. You're going to talk to us about your pasty?
No, but Mike will.
So we had a good wander around with Gary, having a look at different things, and then we went to interview the Gingsters people, who are the main sponsors of the air show.
Right, I'm down with Mike, one of the main sponsors of the Eastbourne Air Show 2019, who's part of Gingsters. So welcome to Eastbourne.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely brilliant to be here, and we're glad that we've got the sunshine with us today.
We certainly have, and you can't miss Gingsters. You've got the big air shield, you've got the big Land Rover, the big cushions, you've got the biggest area, and you're next to the biggest Ferris wheel. So Mike, what have you got on offer? What can people come down and try?
Oh, we've got some amazing products for you to try. We've got all our pasties, which are baked down in Callington and Cornwall. So we've got our Cornish pasty, we've got our handcrafted Cornish pasty, we've got an award-winning chicken and chorizo pasty, and for those who like to try a different recipe, we've got an award-winning Moroccan vegan vegetable pasty.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And unlike other stores, you're actually giving away tasters, aren't you? So people can come and try the different types of pasties that you've got on offer.
Yeah, definitely. What we want to do is we want to bring a taste of Cornwall around the country, and we knew down in Eastbourne that you would absolutely love to try our pasties. So you can buy them, of course you can, but come down, have a try, see what you like, and then pick your favourite.
And what would you say your favourite Cornish pasty is?
My favourite Cornish pasty is actually the Cornish cheddar and caramelised onion.
And why?
Well, for me it's the caramelised onion, and also we put a little bit of apple puree in there, and what you find is that brings out the extra mature cheddar that we've got in the recipe.
Wow, and I'm just having a look at your board, the Cornish handcrafted Cornish pasty, clotted cream? What are you doing putting clotted cream into a pasty?
Why wouldn't you put clotted cream in a pasty?
That's a very good point.
So once we'd filled ourselves up with pasty, we had a little wander around again and had a look at some of the exhibits, and you basically got things like helicopters there was a Chinook as well, the army and the RAF and everything like that there, with guns and bazookas and other things that you could play with. And yeah, so we had a good wander around and being a bit nosy with some of the equipment and things like that, which was kind of cool. just waiting for the planes really. So basically just stuck the GoPro straight into the back of a turbine, see if there actually was one. Yes, there is. Then we walked along to the pier and had a little nose in there, and there is a camera obscura, which is what you can see there. Have a watch one of my videos, it's been put up, and it's the talk about that. While we were there, we had a talk with a gentleman there who actually is the engineer of the pier, and he's got it working again, which is really cool, so that's quite interesting. And then we walked back along the pier and basically just had a look, and then we walked back along the beach and waited for the planes to turn up, which wasn't very long actually. It was quite good timing. Like proper old school, what do you call it? On the beach, making sandcastles and stuff. Absolutely, yeah. But you never used to see it for quite a few years ago, did you?
No, started out and then came back.
So just a final thank you again, ladies and gents, for today. And we'd like to see hands go a big well done for the 2019 Tigers Army Pro-Team Display Team.
And I'm grateful thanks also to Lieutenant Neil Vandal there, very exciting to come in. These guys working quite hard there. You can see the drift is really fast. They're only around 25
So while we were waiting for the planes to come and go, there's other things happening like boats going past and things like that. Got a nice little bit of slow motion of the flag there. It looks a bit torn and shredded up a little bit by the wind. And then yeah, this kind of guy here was looking very happy with himself and very pleased, welcoming the planes back, which was quite funny. There's a kid here on one of those, I don't know what you call it, like a Zorb or something, splashing about, which was kind of cool as well. The rest of the stuff was there. There was like this zip line thing, which is kind of cool as well. A little bit of slow motion there, and yeah, the cameras everywhere. So there was actually a sort of film crew there doing their thing. Plus plenty of other things like this. The sort of spinning arm thing that knocks you over if you're not, you jump with. You have a few people on there and you jump around, and I think you get knocked out as it goes along. There was a what do you call it? Sort of smashing the plates with the balls and everything. That was for the Eastbourne Bonfire Society. Jet skis out there messing around, which was kind of cool. He was jumping around all over the place. The lifeboat was there as well, and they were waving at everyone. They came right in on almost onto the beach a couple of times, to sort of give people a real good look at the boat, which was pretty cool. And then a sort of plane started to come, and off we went. So.
So the team leader today is Sergeant Frank Miller.
So as we were waiting for the parachutists to start falling out of the sky, as you can see here, that flare was let off to give them some kind of sort of aiming opportunity, as they were going to land in the sea, but obviously they didn't want to go too close to the beach, but also they were showing them which way the wind was blowing, so it gave them some kind of guidance as well. Here we go. There's a little bit of slowed down footage of the smoke trails coming out the back of the parachute and everything. It's pretty cool, and it's just the colours and everything look really quite awesome. A little bit different to the normal white or blues or whatever. A little bit purple there, and then the flag coming out as well, which is pretty cool to see. And I just captured that just at the right moment. I literally wasn't expecting that at all. And then these two guys were linked together, and which looks quite cool. And then they sort of came down into the water with lifeboat and everything there as well. And basically, they used the sort of speedboats and everything to go round to give them like almost a circular target to land in. And basically, it was just managed to get a few snaps. Here's the the smoke grenade sort of going off, a seagull cruising over looking at me, the parachute's coming down, and yeah, and it was onto small planes.
Right, just giving it a bit more time because of the wind. And they're going to charge at each other directly down the seafront now with a closing speed of 350 miles an hour. And they'll pass only a matter of feet between them.
So here are some of the stunt planes basically doing a barrel roll around the other planes there, which looks pretty awesome. And yeah, shot at 500 frames per second. So they're probably doing 300 miles an hour, but I've slowed them down to about 40. And same again here. And this is when they came a bit closer, so I've managed to get really zoomed in on them, which worked quite nicely as well. And yeah, it was just good. The weather actually, having a few clouds and stuff in the sky, actually really adds just a little bit of depth and everything, and a bit of contrast to everything as well. So yeah, it works really, really nicely. And even though they're not like fighter jets or anything like that, they were still really, really good to watch. And actually, probably one of my sort of favourite ones of the day to actually watch, because they were so agile and doing flips and stuff like that. It was just mad.
In formation, following each other. Do loops up and down beach with a snake. Andy Evans, the team leader, is a...
So with these stunt planes, they were kind of cool. They did quite a lot of stuff, and they are really agile, ridiculously agile. Came quite close as well, so that was quite nice. And yeah, they were just kind of cool to watch, really.
Experienced an unlimited experience day or ultimate experience day. You can take your flying to the next flying formation down the line. Yeah, this is called triple rolls. The extras for another braking manoeuvre now. They're going to pull up. They're going to bring a nice water bank towards us, and they pull over the top of the loop. Beautiful formation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Phantom. But for us here on the ground, it looks absolutely spectacular.
So that was a stunt plane in sort of real time. This is in slow motion, which is kind of cool because you can see the smoke just sort of pouring out the front of the plane rather than the back, which is not normal, and also the fact that it's tumbling down and down and down, which is a little bit unnerving, but I'm sure he's in control.
For a manoeuvre that's pretty hard for me to explain as a commentator, so I would imagine even harder for the guys to fly in these aircraft, but let me go. Here we go. So Andy.
So here's a few shots of the sort of stunt planes doing some cool stuff. They were quite cool, and they were going pretty fast as well, and really close to each other. So yeah, got some quite cool shots there, especially this one here, panning with one plane as the other plane comes past. That's why you get a sort of bit of motion blur.
The things, the Tornado F23, the Phantoms at Coningsby, and now flying for a well-known British Airways outfit, and of course flying the 787, but he's flown all sorts of other aircraft as well. He's co-owned and displayed this Mark 82A Strike Master since 2004. I think he may be coming by now for his last flyby, so do please, boys and girls, mums and dads, give all the punts a huge wave, won't you?
Here's a couple of shots of this jet here. Kind of didn't take that many shots, but kind of a cool plane, and the sort of paint.
Powered by the Armstrong Siddeley Viper jet engine. They've also fitted with ejector seats and a redesigned airframe as well. The upgrade to that, leading on to the, first of all, a short production run of 4s, and then into the pressurised product. The T5 version that led to this particular one. It's actually graded as a Mark 82. I have little doubt that Jim Peterson will do that in the Typhoon tomorrow. But this aircraft belongs to the Strike Master Flying Club. It's based up at North Wales Military Aviation Services Limited, that's Mark's company, and it was imported by Mark from Oman in 2004, and you can see as it went by there, retaining, but not an instant success. Remarkable at low altitudes, these variants were considered underpowered and disappointing at high altitude. Very distinctive sound indeed, isn't it? Yeah, the addition of the Merlin engine after its early... This aircraft, even more special though amongst P-51 Mustangs, it was delivered to the US Army Air Force in 1945 and saw active service in World War II with the 352 and also renamed with another pilot later on as Miss Nita, but wearing the same paint scheme as she did in 1945, the last original 352nd Fighter Group P-51 known to exist. Its maximum speed of 437 miles an hour at 25,000 feet, but a max diving speed of over 500 miles an hour with a service ceiling in excess of 41,000 feet. I don't think we've ever had so many warbirds available in the UK, and certainly never had as many that you can actually go flying in. Of course, several different organisations now providing you with that opportunity. The edges of the envelope, well, there's a guy called Orman Lockley. I'd say it's all his fault, really. He goes south to the hotel. It's really rough in the display area. He said that people was fault in many ways. He would do all sorts of things. Apparently, or allegedly, during the tail end of the war, he climbed out of his own cockpit to try and protect it. Joined by a lady with an extraordinary lady.
So these are the wing walkers, and they were quite cool because they were bright orange, really stuck out in the sky, especially when the moody clouds behind, and just really worked quite well. And it was almost, I don't know, almost cartoon-like almost, because the way the smoke sort of bellowed out the back of the planes in a sort of almost cartoon cloud-like sort of situation. But here's a few photos anyway, and yeah, it worked really well. The weather and the sunlight and everything was really cool. So this is a slow motion shot of basically a crossing pass, I don't know what you call it, sort of head to head. Looked really cool. It's almost like they were ready to give each other high fives. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't know how close they really were. This is one of the planes just saying goodbye at the end of their little display.
Pleasure to welcome back here for the very first time in Eastbourne, Alexander Roskier. Bonjour, Alex. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Alex. I will be the Callisto Foundation. Every type of figure is named after famous Australian chronographs like Avenger, Callisto, and Blackbird. In front of you, ladies and gentlemen. In front of you, ladies and gentlemen, the number 6 will change his number into a number 9. His name is Paco. Paco spent 4 seasons playing in the Paco de France. Somewhere you're right, sir.
So that was a nice surprise of all the flares going off out the back of the planes. It was pretty cool. Unexpected though, so I wasn't kind of ready for it, but it still worked quite well. Here's some of the photos at the end. Really good day actually. The weather turned out pretty good and just got some cool shots. So using the Rx10 Mark IV, so a lightweight all-in-one camera with 600mm f4 available, so worked really well. Missed nothing, no photos out of focus at all. All nice and sharp. Slow motion video worked pretty well, and having that 24 photos per second burst is really quite handy, and obviously up to 1000 frames per second slow motion, so worked really well. Hey guys, please subscribe, please click the notification bell, and there'll be another video coming soon.